good episode. And I want to say we have... What the hell's wrong with you?
3, 2, 1, action.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm going to leave this in.
This is why we don't hire white people to run this thing. The Hispanics can't do it. The whites can't do it. I mean, who do we got to put behind the scenes?
Blacks.
The blacks. All right, there you go. Well, welcome back to Revenomics for fucking sure this time. Thank you very much, Mark. Anyways, so we are on episode 24, and I now have show notes. So you know this podcast is turning very professional because we have show notes. Now, previously, yes, I know that. I noticed this. We have Noor on. Yes, so sir. I appreciate you being on. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
So 24 episodes. We have maybe 5 viewers at home. You know,
6.
His family members are also from Guatemala. So
Dominican Republic.
Okay, same shit. They're from somewhere over there. Anyways, and we have very sexy coffee delivery at the same time. Anyways, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and you are here, which is exciting. So I'm going to start this because we have so much to talk about. What you like to... I just want to know, the first question is, why are you fighting all the Miami clown traders on Instagram? What started that idea? What triggered that?
So I wanted to do this years ago, and I never got to it because I didn't want to disrupt the industry, because everybody's friends in this place, because everybody wants to collab and become bigger. So I decided just going into 2026, all of that changes. But I've been
but something had to happen to trigger it. Like why all of a sudden you start
who shit in your cereal?
Who was the first one that triggered you, that you were like, this fucking guy?
I think it just got out of hand when people like TJR pop up out of nowhere. And if you look at TJR's history, he was never a successful trader. He tried many times. He talked about him being depressed, which is all fine. That's ups and downs of owning a business or trading, whatever, new thing you're into. But you see him twerking on TikTok.
Yeah, I've seen the cartoon character.
It grabs all the young kids' attentions, and those are all the kids buying those funded accounts. So, and I found out he's about to make about $80 million in 2025, or that's where he made that number.
So if you're making $80 million, which I don't think that's the right number, but let's just argue he's making that.
Okay.
I don't have the proof in front of me. Let's just argue that it is. Why can't you pay a $100K car payment? That's a very large, broad dollar, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I didn't make $80 million last year. I made maybe shy of 30.
Okay.
I have a $35 million car collection, all cash. My house is a fucking beautiful $10 million house. I got multiple houses. So I'm not and it's all cash. So I'm not in that place where I'm trying to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a $100K problem at $30 million a year. How do you have a $100K problem at $80 million a year?
All right, look, I do these episodes, the selling, but I'm not a hater. So what I could tell you is he can afford to pay that.
But why would you then get it taken away by not paying? Why not just take your time, sell it,
and he got a repo?
I'm not saying it's repoed by there's a point where the payment's not worth it. Obviously, I get it. It was a bad buy. We called it. We said, hey, he bought a Koenigsegg that's basically a $3 million on the surface play. It's a $2 million car. He's gonna lose $1 million. He paid $1 million over.
Yep.
Whatever. He's buying his car. Because no one's giving creative financing. But even at 80 million, you easily have 3 million to buy, and he didn't buy cash. That I know for a fact. So that's not.
No, I know for sure.
Yeah, so that he did not buy cash. I saw the contract, so I know what it is. So
I get what you're saying. Why didn't he just buy cash when you're making that type of money? And
then deal with it, because you're paying. You see, this is the shit that doesn't add up in Miami. If you're making even 12 million a year, we're not even talking about 80 million. That's a pretty big fucking number. $12 million. That's averaging out maybe in your pocket at the end of the year if you have a smart, $700K. Assuming you're a normal guy, you pay your taxes, you're not doing something shady, you're $700-800K of net cash in your pocket.
Correct.
His house isn't biblical. So where's the money going? Where's the money going that it's hard to justify a $3 million car and then be okay, I don't want it. It's too big of an asset, or I want to put my money back in something else. That's acceptable. But why not buy the car cash, not pay $1 million in interest, and then go and just say, hey, like, I don't want this.
No,
like,
I definitely get that. Because in Miami, he has a small ass apartment. It's probably not even 1,200 square foot. And then in Puerto Rico, he is in a nice town, but it's a small house as well.
It's not like he's not spending 12, 15 million. He's not Jake Paul money, like fighting, you know, like putting 10, 15 million in houses and
But I know Puerto Rico is charging, they're taxing on their houses just because they know why people are
understand.
So I could see that house being 1.5 possibly.
But 1.5 is poverty here.
Oh, yeah, of
like
course.
poverty.
Yeah, it's an apartment in Las Olas.
You can put less than 200K down, but it is different financing in Puerto Rico. So
yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying is it still doesn't add up to the $80 million claim.
The math is not
like
there.
the math does not math, dude.
I get what you're saying for sure.
I mean, I'm in finance. The math doesn't math. Like,
I get it. I say the same thing over and over again. But I had a conversation with one of the funded companies, and they told me he was about to.
Well, they lied. Well, what the fuck? Like, they're all in on the scam. What are you talking about?
They don't. I get it.
Like,
I agree with you.
The image is the image. What's the point of buying a Regera when you can't afford it?
But
Like,
don't you think the marketing was worth whatever?
No.
You don't think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been on social media 20 years, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it's worth it for the attention. It's undeniable.
He got paid for that.
Yeah, undeniable.
Okay,
100%. Attention is currency for young people.
Correct.
Like they just figure out the next trick, whatever next trend of dancing or doing stupid shit. They get attention. This isn't the argument. Like, we're not here to argue if he's a good marketer. I think Alex G is a wonderful marketer. I think he's a very talented, very talented marketer. He takes every opportunity, turns it into a moneymaker, right? So like super smart in that way. Takes every attention, even bad situations like his Bugatti crashing, which was just ignorant and stupid, and it turned it into a great marketing spectacle. He now owns a house, so he figured out the stability portion, from renting to like so like there is a level of like, I figured out my niche of, we call it scamming, whatever it is. Yeah. It doesn't fucking make a difference. But he figured out that stability part of like, I'm here to stay. Now that he is or gets arrested one day, that's between him and whatever fucking agency comes to get him. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the rest of these guys, I don't even think Alex G is making 80 million, and I think he's.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I'm telling you.
But dude, the math does not math, and the point is that like I don't like. How much do you
think Alex G is making realistically?
Realistically, a year for based on expenditures and what he has. I think
forget about the spending. How much comes in, you think, before he spends?
I think his personal that he can touch, probably under 20. Like that he can touch. There's a difference between saying, hey, we make money. It's speculative. We made a ton of money. We can't touch it. It's legal. If it goes here, it got to go here. It got to disperse here. That's one thing. But the lifestyle, look, this is the argument about social media. So social media is about attention. Do you agree? Like, it's all it is, right? Sure. Okay. If social media is about attention, then you're only as good as the highest level of attention you can cultivate for what you do. Clearly, none of these people have expertise in trading, very technical trading. They're relying on people losing in prop firms and some of these places. We agree?
Correct.
Okay. So if you're a guy who shows off, if you're a show-off type of dude, which all of them are, because that's how they get attention, you show off the highest level possible that your income allows you to show off, because otherwise you're competing on who's got a bigger dick.
I agree.
All the time.
Especially when you're known for the market.
So if you tell me, hey, I don't wear watches, that's fine. Like, you're a guy that wears an Apple Watch, no problem. Like, that's what you want to wear.
Yeah.
Then I better never see you with a Rolex, right? Sure. Like you wear.
I agree with
that.
Right? Yeah.
But if you wear a Rolex, then you're wearing the Rolex you can afford to wear. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you are owning a home, you're buying a home at the price you can afford to buy. If you are flexing a car, you're buying a car at the dollar you can afford to flex. So you're not buying Bugattis.
But what more do you want from Alex to post, though?
Well,
what else is he missing?
No, but so the house level doesn't match these numbers. So these are the arguments. If you're already owning the house, right? You're not buying a $2 million house. At 80 million, 100 million a year, you're buying a 10, 15, 20 million.
His house is $2 million?
His new house ain't worth shit.
No.
Like, it ain't, it's fucking garbage. Like, I don't want to put it up on the screen.
Not that it's not worth it. It's not that it's worth it. It's just not.
It's just not like, it's not even a third of my house.
Oh, no, actually, no, we'll talk about that later.
But what I'm saying is the money's got to go somewhere. And if you're flaunting it, my argument is it has to show up somewhere. Does it not? Like,
Yeah,
like,
for
like.
sure.
Okay, so if you're TJR and you got a Regera, or you bought it, that's fair. You put $1 million down, sure.
Cool.
You don't have the credit, so you have to do a creative lease. No problem. That lease is fucking destroying your money, right? Like, I mean, it's burning it, even though you're in finance. It's burning your money at a crazy rate. Okay, why do you got to lie about it? One, why do you got to lie about how you bought it, what you're doing about it, if it's real? Secondly, the larger equation, why can't you afford to carry it for $3 million for 6 months? Even if you're going to do it, just buy it for $3 million. You got $80 million,
Understood.
$3 million. You buy it, you hold it, you go fuck it. I'm out. Like I don't want this piece of shit. Most people keep their hypercars 6 months. I'm an idiot. Maybe I kept mine a couple of years, made it money.
years.
But whatever. What I'm saying is these guys buying these cars, they ain't buying them with cash they got. So where's the fucking cash going? Okay, it's in their house. Which house? Oh, it's in their travel. Really? They're spending $70,000, $100,000 a day traveling, like for $30 million a month? Fuck no. So okay, in that case, why don't they have a tail number on a jet if they got that kind of travel arrangement they're paying? Wouldn't it make more sense to have $80 million, put $5 million in a jet, and be like, hey, I'm traveling every day. That's where my money's at.
Correct.
The money always goes somewhere, and if attention is currency, then the money has to go somewhere, especially if you're already spending it for attention. So it's not like the guy can say, well, I don't want the IRS to come after me. Motherfucker, you're in a cul-de-sac. You're in a Bugatti. You crash your Bugatti. You're not hiding it.
Correct.
So I don't see where the fucking 80 million, my asshole is, but it ain't fucking there.
Okay.
Maybe there's 5 guys in the back end that are funneling all that shit in Switzerland, whatever, like, and they're getting paid. I don't know who those people are.
I definitely agree with your vision because I've seen people multiple times say, "Oh, I'm not into watches," but have like a 2-tone Submariner on.
Exactly. Then why do you need a Rolex?
Exactly.
Then it doesn't matter. You don't need
if you're
a Rolex.
not into it, you put something else on your wrist. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or an Apple Watch.
Cas-
so those things don't.
Casio or something.
Yeah, like I get that.
If you're flaunting the highest level you can afford to flaunt.
Yeah,
like if I could afford to have 3 $20 million cars, I would have 3 $20 million cars. I'm very honest about it. I'm like, hey, I don't have the money to buy one $20 million car by itself. You know, I can put 40 million in cars, no problem, but not in one. Like the risk is too high. I don't have the power to have that loss of liquidity at once. You know, no one wants to buy the car. I'm fucked. And I don't finance my shit, so I don't care. You know, like it doesn't bother me. So I can't do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
When did you make your first million? Do you remember?
Oh, when I was like 21, 22.
With the abs?
No, I had abs back then. Yeah.
So you did make it young. I was gonna say, like, I think it's when you make it young, you become financially more responsible as the years go on. So if I look at myself at 18, right, and I look at myself now, the things that I used to love and care about versus now is completely different.
It changes, but the level of money and where it went over the years
For sure.
shifted.
It should always show though.
Dude, I got friends that got $100 million houses
Yeah.
on the beach, fucking stunning, right next to Grand Cardinal, like epic fucking house, right? Like amazing. Guy drives an Urus. That's it. You know, like does like
sure.
and he's got fucking 2 other like bullshit. You know, like
Yeah,
Jeep car,
yeah.
like Escalade, whatever. Like, okay. So what I'm saying is, but the house shows it. Or you look at his house and you're like, fucking, like this fucking got a big dick. You know, like where it is, how it is. His other house, his capacity to buy, his yacht shows it. Like something.
Yeah.
He's not a watch guy. He comes in, flip flops. That's it. Nothing, like fucking never has a watch on, right? He owns an AP that he was forced to buy because I forced him to buy it. You know, but like he never wears it, even though he has it.
Forced him to buy
But
it.
that's his like mentality, you know, like, and that's okay.
No, that's
but
okay.
if he was gonna, when he goes out or like where his house is a representation of his money, you know, like, and also there's a background. You can't make that kind of money legally in the States and not have some kind of very clear and clean record of it unless you're scamming.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is, one, I don't even see where you're getting 80 million from. So that part, I don't even believe on 1 second on any level. Not for Alex G, not for the other guy. I'm not saying they're not making money. Don't get me wrong. I do think the marketing's worth it in the sense that they get that attention. But the dollars on the street say otherwise to those numbers. Now that they're making even, and here's the other thing. I think we live in a society where we've destroyed $20 million as a bad thing. Where, just to be clear, when we say someone's making $20 million a year, or I believe is making that vicinity, that person is still in the 0.01% of the entire globe. Like, that's a pretty big statement to be like, there's all these billions of people on Earth, and you're like 0.01%, and not 1%, 0.01% of that 1% is still that guy, that he's scamming or not is a whole different argument. But I was just curious about that whole thing, why it physically started. But I wanted to take a second while you're here to talk about trading, because this is something that I've seen the larger scams in Miami come out of Forex trading, primarily in Forex. I'm really close friends with Timothy Sykes, penny stock trader. So really nice guy. We've been friends for over a decade. So, I've seen like the traders. I think he's a great course seller, also trader, has great results, very black and white type of thing. Now his marketing's marketing, so it's out there. But now it's more noble with the causes back in the day. Yeah. All his old cars used to come from me. So that's where our history goes back, So, and he used to own them. He used to buy them. He didn't lease them. He paid cash for them, etc. So tell me this. Why is Forex trading the primary focus of scammers?
Because the SEC doesn't regulate Forex. So Forex, you get away with a lot more than you would in the stocks and options world. And I sent you guys my subpoena from the SEC.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that next.
Which is crazy at the age of 20. This was 6 years ago now. And they came knocking at my door at the age of 20. And I only started social media 2 years into that. So imagine that. If I'm 2 years into it and these guys are like 7, 8 years into it, nobody has been knocking on their door. But there are certain people that will come down very, very soon for when we say the word scam.
Mm-hmm. It's a very broad word.
Very broad word. Because that could also mean you selling a course on something you have no education about.
Correct.
I think
or no result.
Exactly. I think that's a scam personally.
That's a fake claim. Yeah.
But a real scam and fraud, that's when scam goes to fraud. There are a few people committing fraud.
Yes, and that I'm also aware of how they do that.
And I can explain really quickly, like, for example, FX Alex G, nobody knows, but on the back end of his broker, which is Hero FX, let's say you set a stop loss, for example. The problem with Forex versus stocks and options is Forex is not centralized. So on one broker, it could be a certain price, and on the other broker, it could be a different price. I'm familiar
with that, yeah.
And Alex can control on the back end, not Alex, but his people on the back end can control that and basically stop you out of your trade before it even gets there.
Correct. I've seen that happen too, yeah.
And that will catch up to you. That's why I think Alex is keeping a lot of money in reserves, because he knows that day is coming, but I could be wrong about that.
How does that play into... So this is a really good question. How does that play into this whole idea of manipulation in the back with the fact that the prop firms are not in the U.S. specifically? They hide overseas. They force kids to send money overseas, like to these third-party funds. How does Alex take the rap? I'm just saying, allegedly, how would that happen, knowing that the firm people are voluntarily sending money overseas?
So separate from a prop firm, he also has equity in an actual broker. So, for example, I trade on either TD Ameritrade, which is now owned by Charles Schwab, or I'll trade on Moomoo,
which is the real.
These are all
regulated.
Yeah, exactly.
Companies,
so there's nothing. Yeah. It's all regulated.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a stake in one of these companies, and it's called Hero FX. That's offshore and unregulated. Just because it's offshore and unregulated in the U.S. doesn't mean you can't be
liable for
exactly. You could still go to jail for whatever you do outside of the U.S. So that will catch up to him very, very soon. It just, as time progresses, it'll get there.
So we had insider knowledge that someone sent in that told us that basically him and Ethan Duran were basically in on this algo scam. And somehow this algo scam basically was to tell people that they had this fake algo that was a fake account in the back end that nothing was being traded, like prop firms, whatever. And then they were going to get some big money and run out the door.
I don't think Alex would be part of something like that, because he always has a bigger vision.
I thought about that too. Yeah, I thought about that too. So
I don't have Alex down for that. But Ethan Duran he saw.
I mean, that's not even a trader.
He's seen Lambo Raul do that. Lambo Raul, if you didn't know, I worked with WAP since they were a baby company. Now WAP is a $1 billion company. When I got Lambo Raul onto WAP to sell his stuff, because WAP always asked me to hit up influencers so that they can sell on WAP, which is nothing wrong with that. So when Lambo Raul went to WAP, a month in, he dropped his first algo. He made $7 million. Damn. 7. And those are the straight numbers from WAP. That's not him
it's not like, it's not right. You can see it like physically.
But then, I don't know if you pay attention, but he ended up getting caught and things started catching up to him that, quote unquote, he did refund one of the drops. So I don't know if that actually happened. But that algo thing was the biggest drop through Lambo Raul. Another person that did the algo thing was Q Banks. But Ethan Duran wouldn't work. I mean, Alex wouldn't work with Ethan Duran. It doesn't make sense for him.
Okay, so that was maybe like we heard that we heard that from a guy that was very close to both.
Really?
So yeah, so that was a very weird, like thing we got, but it was just very detailed and it was very accurate for the rest of the information that was there. So that was very like early, but we had that specifically like told to us at a very early stage from someone that knew both parties very well, and I was just the rest of the information was accurate. That's why we assumed, like we never really published it because I was like, we knew something was coming, but I was like, I don't know nothing else about, like I don't make stories about stuff I don't have like data or evidence on, So when you look at Forex generally, let's turn this to a knowledge piece. I want to trade Forex. I'm new. I don't want to trade Forex, but I'm saying if I did, how would I go about trading Forex the real way and not following one of these monkeys into like my own demise? Like what are my choices in terms of what if I want to learn this? Genuinely want to learn how to
You literally have to download a real regulated broker from Forex. I'm a stocks and options trader. So when it comes to stocks, everything you trade on is going to be regulated. Even
correct. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
Forex, you really got to look into it and see what's regulated. And the best thing about Forex for people to understand is Forex is not a scam.
No,
it's
I understand
more
that.
liquid
Yeah,
than the stock
exactly.
market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's the exchange of currency.
But the rates of returns aren't as much as on some of these prop firms, these fake prop firms.
Correct.
Like because it's not as like crazy volatile.
But these platforms for Forex that are regulated, they still offer leverage on your account. So you can use like 20x, 50x.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay.
So you could still do that on regulated brokers. So that would be the route. But going to prop firms, I understand the idea of it. Instead of losing $5,000, you lose $500 of it, right? You know what you're paying for. So at the end of the day, the person offering the prop firm is technically not scamming you because he's not lying to you.
Correct, yeah.
But
unless they're manipulating the data on the back
correct.
end, which is
and
a different
they add
game.
all these different rules for you in order for you to pass, to make it as impossible as they can. So they want a success rate of like 1%, right? So in my idea, when you know you're selling something that most people are going to fail at, I think that's automatically a scam. Because let's say you go to Louis Vuitton, you pay for a shirt, you paid $500. In return, you got a $500 shirt. Both parties knew what they left with and exactly walked away with what they came in to do. When you come in and pay $500 for a funded account and you get access to $50,000, you do not know all the things that are happening on the back end. So I don't think that's fair, and I think that's a scam.
Right. I understand. It's not transparent.
Yeah.
Basically, it's putting you towards what it shows you is not what's really happening.
Correct.
So you kind of go down the rabbit hole and you get totally fucked.
Yeah.
So we have a list of people that have come up on Instagram become more popular.
Starting nice on a Monday.
So we'd like to know your thoughts on some of these people, and what are the signals you look at when you look at their Instagram to know if they're real or they're a waste of time?
I know all of them.
All right, well, let's
ins
see.
and out.
Let's go with the first one.
How about this guy?
Devin Strand.
Yeah, complete scam. What the hell? 6.1 million followers? It's got to be all fake, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I haven't even gone that far, but it takes 2 seconds. To recognize.
This isn't 2018 anymore. We don't need to be flexing duffel bags. Yeah, that's a scam.
Wow, just came out, dude.
Yeah, just attacked them.
For the duffel bag, bro.
Okay, so this guy, you're saying scam before anything else.
100%.
Okay, so you know. All right, go to the next one.
Let's go to the next one. Next one's going to be that trading chant.
100% scam.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Tell us why, yeah.
Yeah, why? I want people in the audience to learn what are they reading? Like
the last Forex course you will ever need or your money back.
Well, that's marketing. What I'm saying is they're selling courses, but what I'm saying is
bro, I don't think that's marketing in my opinion. The last Forex course you will need, you can't say things like that. Like that's pushing the wrong idea out when it comes down to trading. Trading takes a lot
but what
of
I'm
time.
saying is what makes you see like we haven't taken this guy's course, right? We don't know anything. So I'm trying to be I'm trying to be subjective in the sense that I don't want to accuse people of doing something when they're not. What are there any signs you look at someone's Instagram?
Can you click this for me real quick? The life. Like what are we showing here?
Well, the reason this one is here is it's not too flashy. You know, we're not talking about a guy that's got millions.
I get it,
you know?
But like he hasn't made it out himself. Do you think Forex is working for him or whatever trading is working out for him?
Well, maybe to some extent. I mean, I don't. Should everybody be multimillionaires?
No, I never said that. But when you make it into something, for example, my coffee machine is a is that I'm into coffee. I love coffee.
Right.
I have a nice coffee machine
Right. You pay for the things that matter.
that I like.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And if you scroll down here, everything here you see is going to be about, candlesticks, patterns. When it comes down to trading, it's not like this, right? These patterns that people make up on their stories, you could talk to anybody from the New York Stock Exchange. It has nothing to do with this. There's not one thing here talking about order flow. Fibonacci retracement, which is another indicator. Indicators don't work. If you take a look, nothing here has anything about order flow, which is times and sales, level 2, showing the back end orders. They don't teach any of that, and that's the most important thing to learn when it comes down to trading.
Okay.
And you know what? Can I tell you something really funny about that? Lambo Rayul posted on his story that he was learning how to read volume profile.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Okay, it's a way to see order flow in a different way. Instead of looking at candlesticks, you look at it in a different way to see where the volume's coming in between the candles. So it's just a deeper meaning of each candle. He posted that he was educating himself on it. Guess how long it took for him to drop a course on it? 3 weeks. How do you teach something to yourself and then drop a course on it 3 weeks later?
Right. So, I mean, they're clearly selling more on the course side or not. But if someone sells something on the course side, does it automatically disvalidate the point?
No,
because the point might still be good.
But
right?
you can teach something in 3 weeks that you just learned?
So the argument, so we know that these guys know how to make money in course selling on currency, like on the idea of attention and bullshit. But the real question I have is, how do we know they're real traders or not? Can you go back to the Mamba guy, the guy that I told you to go back on? What's the story with that?
What do you think this story
No,
is?
I can. So I'll tell you something I know. I know money and I know cars. I don't know trading. I'm not a trader by heart. I know how to trade. I'm just not. That's not my specialty, right? So what I'm asking you is, I can tell based on people's car choices the level of their wealth. Did you know that? Like, I can literally break down someone's car collection and tell you how wealthy they are based on how experienced.
I love his car collection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is very like flashy, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're all garbage.
Right,
so the main question I have for you.
They're all garbage?
Yeah, it's all junk. Oh shit! This GT3 RS is fucking trash. It's like $300K car.
No, it's not.
That's
about
a 14.
The price,
Yeah, that's a 14 Pagani. That's the worst year to own.
Wait, are you into cars or are you into the price of cars?
Both. So
This is a good car.
No, it's a very basic shark blue car with red. It's called a Superman
Now,
spec.
we're-
It's a terrible specification.
This garbage.
These wraps are junk. The way it's
Rolls-Royce
presented.
garbage. These are all garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
well,
car.
so we're not. So the taste, we know he has no taste.
Okay.
We know he has no taste, but taste is also subjective. If you
All
like a purple coat, maybe you like a snakeskin Pagani, whatever.
All right.
But I can tell you, if a Pagani is not an 18 or newer hybrid,
Okay.
then it's whatever leftover junk you could have bought at the cheapest possible point that nobody else wanted, so you got it at a good dollar. And then it's mainly used in a lot of marketing, never used in events or anything, because the cars are always half fucked up and they don't run. You know, like, not saying that specific. I'm saying generally these 14s are just junk. They don't really work very well, so they shouldn't be.
So how much was this car about?
You could have bought it somewhere between 1.9 to 2.3, depending on what the like.
Okay.
I'd have to see it under that scale,
Correct,
whatever,
correct.
to see the mileage and everything else. But that's the range for that,
Got
car
it.
specifically. Like, nothing here is unbelievable, but also comes the idea that are they owned, are they leased? That this changes the dynamic, because Ethan Duran had a similar photo with 16 cars, none of which were his. So. Meaning none of them on paper were his,
Okay.
right? So he had them all in one place. He had a rental home behind it. It looked exciting. Nothing belonged to him at the
That
time.
house is in Doral, correct?
Yeah, for like $4,000 a month,
that's
whatever
where
that
the
was. Yeah.
Influencers.
Well, they all live in the same neighborhood. That's where Alex G used to live. That Lambo, they all used to live there.
They
So,
almost got me to move there.
yeah, so I'm telling you, like, this is a very normal thing. So we wanted to kind of learn, like, is there anything outside of the attention they're getting? Is there anything in someone's profile that can tell you if they're a real trader or not?
I mean, man, like it's what he sells. It's not just the course, it's the funded. If you go so hard posting funded account discount codes and you have the time for that, that's ridiculous. You're posting 50% off, 60%. Do you see how many times TJR posts in a day?
No, I don't follow TJR, thankfully, so my life is better.
Six different codes on 6 different brokers. All discount codes because he gets paid off of it. Same thing with Mamba FX. That's all he does on his story. Posts big ass profits, posts the car, and then pushes the funded accounts all day. if you're making money from trading, if you see how much he posts from trading, like 200, 300K, you don't got time for that.
So if you see these models clearly working, right? Like for these guys, they're getting the attention. It's working for them. They're getting attention, right? What is the disbenefit of marketing this with a qualified course or program?
I don't think there's. I think having.
Do you think there is a qualified Forex program out there that teaches Forex? Like, I don't mean like by a single person, but is there a course you can recommend people can take that would teach them specifically like the basics that they need, or is that like a YouTube thing they need to go through the rabbit
now
hole?
that all these people exist, it's very hard to find the real ones, and I can't even think off the top of my mind of a real Forex trader that who actually.
That's what I was asking. Like that actually is also teaching, maybe like likes teaching, right? Like meaning like that enjoys like you putting classes together or like teaching people.
I
how to
can't
do
even
this.
think of one.
Okay, so that's that bad. Huh?
Yeah.
Your industry
This
is
isn't that bad.
Okay, so we have a bunch of.
We got a couple more.
Yeah, but we already got enough of this. Let's go to let's go to this TGR conversation at Cario, and then Vincent Fisher, Ethan Duran. Yeah, we have our clown show like opportunity. We kind of got straight into it talking about TGR. You said you brought up that number, which I disagreed with the 80 million.
I mean, I disagree with you now, but
Yeah, the TGR situation. The car's back at Cario.
correct.
Okay, like clearly that it was voluntary. Ethan Duran voluntarily dropped off his car. I would argue he's never made a single car payment, so I don't know about.
You would argue it?
I don't know that like dropping off a car without making a single car payment makes it a voluntary give back. Otherwise, then they're going to kick down your door and come get your shit anyway.
Still can't afford it.
I mean, Vincent Fisher tried to hide his car. And then that got repoed. They finally got it.
Man, hide it from the repo guy.
Yeah, I mean
That
that's
guy's
like
weird.
that's next level.
That guy's
you know,
weird.
that's next level fraud. But I found this picture to be an interesting picture because the whole time he had the car, he kept advertising it with that Florida Kiltech plate. But this was the actual plate on the day it came back to the dealership.
Correct.
I just thought that was a very interesting dynamic because a lot of them say, well, why don't you look up my plate? You know, like, and so on and so forth. And they have the same state plate they want, but then the real plates don't look like that because they're leveraged to the finance company, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you see how the image of the appearance of, you know, money. You're kind of following what I'm saying here.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I have my plates. People can look them up downstairs. People come here all the time. They're like, can I put them on social media? I'm like, they're funny. You can put them all over the world. You can look them up. They're all registered to the same company. You know, like
right car.
Yeah, and I own all of it. You know, it's not a dealership. It's my personal company. And they're all like Florida tags, you know, so there's no like bullshit Montana tags,
You
etc.
ever get worried about being followed home?
No, I don't care. We're in Florida, so I always have like a full auto,
Yeah,
you know,
have a lot of
all types of
a lot of guns. There's guns everywhere.
We're very good on security,
Got
but
it.
generally speaking, like what I'm saying is, if this is really your plate, right, and you're not putting on an image, I don't care what the image is that you wanted it 6 months or not, then why the fuck do you do this?
No,
Like,
for sure.
What's the point? Like what is these are the details my eyes catch.
Because
right? It's like-
realistically, this actually takes like 2 weeks to get done, if that.
In Florida?
I mean,
Yeah.
So easy.
yeah, I mean,
So easy.
I mean, I'm giving
You
the
can
benefit
take
of the
an
doubt
old
of
tag,
shipping,
you
going
can
to the
send-
DMV.
No, but you don't get that from the DMV. That's the thing. You take an old plate, you send it to a guy, plate makers, they
Oh
make
no,
you a
this
fake
is
tag.
this is fake.
and they-
Yeah, of
they
course.
just
I'm
put it
saying
on
you're
the
getting
car.
a real customized plate would
Yeah.
take like 2
But
One,
a lot of
two,
times
three.
you often can't also because you need to get the leasing company to go in with it and do it for you. It takes a little bit
All
longer.
right, since
and
we're
there's-
here, you're saying in your mind, are you arguing this is a lease?
Oh, 100% is a lease. I know this.
Really?
Yeah, so it's not just a lease, it's a creative lease, man. A creative lease meaning you put $1 million down, which he had some cash to
I
put
saw,
down.
yeah.
A lot of times it's not $1 million. Most of the like Vincent Fisher was 200 grand, which is a joke.
On that
A
car?
exactly. So you put these fucking stupid fucking amounts down, which is stupid. You buy a car, and also I want you to understand this. This is how creative leasing works. You buy a car, it's $3 million, like this is your purchase price. Creative leasing means no one in their right fucking mind will give you a loan on that car because you're fuck up of a
I agree.
credit person. You know, you're like, you don't deserve that car. You live in an apartment, you shouldn't be in a fucking Koenigsegg. Like, so that guy will be like, fuck you, get out of my dealership. So you go to a creative lease company and it goes, yeah, I'll give you a loan. You give me $1 million. I'll put a little tracer in the car and you get to drive your car and you pay like $90K a month. And you go, great, so you give me the car now with $1 million? Yeah, exactly. No credit check. Don't worry about it. Drive your shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I love it. I'm going to do that. Well, what happens that you don't see is that all of that shit is a bunch of fees and acquisition fee, this fee, that fee. So by the time you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want this payment. Like, I'm selling my car. In a normal traditional financing, you'd say, hey, I bought a $3 million car, put $1 million down. What's your payoff? $2 million, maybe $2.2 million, because some of it went to fees, whatever. No problem. In this situation, your payoff's $3 million. And you're like, wait, what happened to my $1 million? What do you mean? It's in fees and all that shit. So you're like, but I paid 3 payments of $200K.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, you still owe $3 million. So what happens? You're forced to come back to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you get another car is if they let you take another car. Get it? And usually it's a downgrade. Because at some point you went too big and you couldn't afford, like you were drowning in the excess, which is where these leases are somewhat borderline cartoon character-like. But they're very lucrative for dealers, and they make sense for dealers because you're in the business of like making money. You don't give a fuck who you sell to. And you go, hey, I'm going to sell you this car. I could have sold this car for 2.5, but I sold it to you for 3. So I already made 500. Now you're in a position where you give me $1 million down, you still owe 3 million. I just made 1.5.
Clean.
By the time you fucking return this car, you got $3 million debt you can't satisfy. I'll let you take another car, give me 500K of that debt wiped. It's just this never-ending cycle they put themselves in. But the argument is these guys are financial fucking people. Like, they're out there telling people how to make money.
Yeah.
And yet they're fucking buying shit in $1 million negative equity positions on day one. Irresponsible, lying about what they own, lying about how much they put down, lying about what happens. And listen, nobody gives a fuck. Like, it's fine. But the argument is all these kids are following these monkeys over the cliff, right? And they're like, the only way I can compete is to have a fucking Huracan at 12. Who the fuck is a Huracan at 12? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the problem with TGR's fan base, usually, if you really look at your people and the people who follow like finance, it's anywhere between like 18 and 35.
Yes, it's the instant gratification monkey.
He changed everything. His fan base are
probably
all
even younger.
Like 13,
I believe
14.
it. Yeah, I believe it.
So the problem with that is they can just keep swiping their parents'
And
card.
you know how I knew this? I knew this because the way he was doing his marketing was with really young OnlyFans girls that were never getting naked on tape. And he was cross-mixing these marketing.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and when he was doing that, I was like, he's targeting guys that are so young that follow this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they're like wannabe whores. They're not even real whores. Yeah. I have respect for whores, but not wannabe whores. Like, it's either you're a whore or you're not. There's nothing in between.
Full time, not part time.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a convenient whore. You're either a whore or you're not. That's fine, But what I'm saying is these are good examples, right? Of like, we never saw this picture anywhere on his page.
No.
I saw this picture when the car was getting reloaded back to the dealership. That picture is the epitome of what's pinned at the top of his thing.
Yeah.
Kill tag. Yeah, exactly. So again, like this gets to a point, like these creative financing things, they don't add up, dude. And I'm not seeing where that huge amount of money they're making is going. So do I think they're making money by having a Koenigsegg, talking about it, getting a lot of attention? Sure. But I've always also argued this about the internet. These guys that come out of nowhere, they have huge bills for clippers and for people that they pay to market the shit that they're doing, right? So if you bring in 100 million, because when I got in the course game, this was 20 years ago, and I met Tim Sykes, like he was starting up. Like, trust me, I've known him for a long ass time. He was just starting up. He was making very low 7 figures back then, like not trading, I'm saying the course business stuff. And something that really like stood out to me, he told me, he goes, everyone's fucking lying in the space. They're all making shit up. And I was like, at the time, I felt like an incompetent fuck because I was building something 20 years ago. I was making like 40,000 a year. And these other guys are like, I'm at 200K a month. I was like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, there's nothing special about what they do. Why can't I do it? And then I started realizing, I was like, if you make 200K a month and spend 250K on ads, well, you fucking negative 50. You technically, at the end of the year, you owe $500,000. Meanwhile, I made 40 grand.
And a lot of people will hear that and think that's impossible. And why would someone do that? But I can name one person.
But it happens all the time.
I met someone who does that shit, and it's his name is King Cap. He's a sports picker, or what do they call it? Sports capper.
That's another terrible fucking
bro.
Yeah, that's another industry that's going down the
WAP
toilet.
was showing him as number one, so I hit up WAP and I say, how much is he making as number one? 700 grand a month.
Damn.
I met up with him in Vegas because one of my friends owns a sports pick, or he manages it or whatever.
Like a betting house?
Yeah, and he talks about it. Bro, they're spending they're spending almost the same amount that they're making every single month
That's
and
what I'm
coming
saying,
out with
yeah.
that 50, 60,000 a month that squeezes them for profit.
And they're writing these cars as straight up marketing, which is crazy. So Vincent Fisher's car got repoed too. You want to put that up on the screen?
Yes,
so
I
that got
do.
repoed for no payments. So that was on Baller Buster, which I thought was an interesting.
Yo, this guy is
I called this shit
We
again
did.
down to
Hold on.
science.
I think we called it in episode, I'm going to say 19.
Yeah, we said this is next. So
for
this
sure.
was literally next.
And
And that's very sad that, again, this continues. He was actually the worst of them because he never made it famous like Wes Watson. He never
he came in
became
at the
as
end.
famous.
Yeah.
He was never really rich. Like he never got his moment of like super fame, and this was the pinnacle of his failure, like the fucking $1 million upside equity in a fucking car he can't
Yeah, I
afford.
think that stuff is weird.
Yeah, I mean, like this guy, poor guy.
TGR is actually funny.
No, that's what I'm saying. At least,
You
like,
know what I mean?
with TGR and Alex G, you see a marketer that's really well groomed in marketing. Like Wes Watson figured out how to decode the code of these monkeys. Like at least before he went into the drug fucking
Jesus Christ.
destruction of his life. But this dude never really did anything. Like he doesn't really do anything. He coaches on how to do bodybuilding, but he literally went on tape and admitted he was doing steroids. Like I never understood the math. I never understood the ideology of why anyone would follow him.
Is this what happens when you're an idiot?
He's just tall. You think he's tall?
He's tall.
Nah,
No, I mean he's
Well,
very
he's
tall.
tall, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
give him
very
that.
tall.
he never did legs though.
Yeah, he doesn't. Just all arms, bro. I'm just doing arms and chest all day.
All right, moving on from the clown show. Some very quick topics. So, Iran-Venezuela conflict. How do you feel about it?
Well, the Venezuela, I think every Venezuelan is agreeing with that.
That it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Okay.
The thing I have to say about that is like what I heard or I read somewhere that it's the ones that are agreeing with it are the ones that are here with money, and then the ones
I
that
don't
aren't
know.
are the ones that are over there.
I don't agree with that because families are happy they get to see their family again, no matter if you have money or not. So I don't agree. The only people who are not agreeing with it are Americans who say, "Yo,
The way he did it
not
was maybe,
legal. You can't." And the Democrats. So it's like,
I mean, it's not so much that what they did because we can all agree that the dude was a bad fucking guy. Okay,
Well,
fine.
but so was Saddam, and when they removed him, it kind of fucked that whole region directly.
I mean,
Like,
they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
The way they took him out, I just hope Venezuela doesn't end up like the Middle East. And it looks like that's about to be that setup.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
the larger argument. Are you from Venezuela, Mark?
No. PJ cannot get where anyone is from right.
Spain.
Well, you're from Spain?
Okay.
PJ cannot get where anyone's from.
I think Spain's near Venezuela. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's right next to it. It's in between Colombia and Mexico. Right? Colombia,
sense.
Mexico, Spain, Puerto Rico, they're all over there.
All the same.
Anyway, but the argument was that Venezuela was a Chinese anti-China operation more than it was a pro-Venezuela operation. Part of it was for the control of the trade routes, the oil routes, and everything
And the
that comes
oil
with
tanker
it.
that got seized as well.
Yeah. So the argument is more if it was even an option not for it to happen.
Yeah.
Because if the collab was happening there with
I
China
think
and
Trump
Venezuela.
knew what he was doing with that, and he did something that would knock two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I agree. Like
He
it
knew
did, yeah.
that a lot of people would be on his side for that.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the drugs, he got a lot of people that are like, yeah. Like,
he
go
sold
do
it already.
Yeah, they sold it correctly on that one. So congrats on that. How do you feel about Iran? Where are you from originally?
I'm Egyptian.
Egyptian. So not too far from Iran.
No.
Yeah. How's that?
The Middle East is screwed, like all the way.
So you don't think there's hope for Iran at all?
I don't think there's hope for anybody in the middle. I don't even know how Egypt's still lasting, but they got a really strong military.
But they say that like everything good that's ever happened has always happened at the end of a very violent cycle. And the Middle East eventually will find itself. I mean, after World War II, we had a lot of peace.
Yeah,
like
find
after
yourselves
World
for a
War
long
III,
time.
we might have a lot of peace.
do you guys talk about politics on here?
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Oh,
Talk about whatever you want to do.
But you see what Israel's doing?
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
There's a light at the end of this tunnel. with
No, but so I agree. Like, this is a very interesting conversation because the whole Israel conversation generally is a very sensitive one for
Very,
people. Like,
yeah.
right? Like, it's like you're on
Yeah.
either side of that, like going like a hard rock, like sitting down. I think there's definitely a reform going on in the Middle East, and I think Israel is trying to lead it in a very negative way, in a way that's just destroying everything around it. And I'm not by any means on any side of that support for anything that they've done or are doing in any way. Even the history of that, there's a lot of conversation that even that was like their own whatever October 7 event or whatever that was done by not January 6th. That's different.
So I just want to point out, like, whether each side, whatever side you're on, World War II, U.S. didn't step in to the very end.
Yes, I remember that.
They knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? People knew what was going on, and nobody.
They just chose to step out until it was time. They were like, "Okay, it's going to impact."
We know what's going on in the Middle East, and nobody's choosing to step in because you got people with allies here, and.
So first off, I don't think enough allies are involved in the Middle East where like
Israel?
No, but I'm saying, but they're not. But yeah, but they're getting whatever support they want anyway.
Yeah, it's not
they're getting unlimited money, unlimited planes, unlimited support.
I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into it because it's just. I think it's a never-ending conversation. But
do you think the Iran regime should fall or not?
Should it fall?
Yeah, should the Ayatollahs fall?
Well, what do you think?
I think it should go.
Yeah, I think it should go as well.
I think anything that's that deeply rooted in the poverty of the people and stealing from the people should go.
I think so too.
Doesn't matter which fucking country it is. I don't give a fuck that it's the UK or Iran or Iran.
How do you think it should happen is what I would ask.
Yeah, so I mean that's a very interesting conflict. But they've had multiple of these attempts to overthrow the government, and then it goes back to normal.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's why
it goes back. But that's like Iran's like one of the most advanced cities there. Like meaning not advanced in like technology, I'm saying advanced in democracy, like in how the people want to govern or live. So it's very interesting and unique. How do you feel about this? Is right up your alley. Trump wants to arrest Jerome Powell or indicted him for
he hates that guy so much.
Well, he thinks he's committed fraud, and Jerome just talked about it this morning. He said that I'm being investigated for fraud, but that's not going to move me to do anything for Trump.
Yeah. So, but do you think do you think the interest rates should go lower?
Do I think interest rates should go lower? I think...
But that's the main argument. I mean, the argument is you're not doing this shit.
Do I think interest rates should be lower? Of course. But do I think Jerome Powell has done the right thing since COVID? Mm-hmm. Yes.
I agree there.
So I think if he...
I think he's done actually a really good job.
That's what I think.
And so I think they pressured him too early to try to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that now it made inflation go back up. Yeah. They would have left him alone. They would have done way better, I think. Sure. Yeah, without all this pressure to like drop the rates, drop the rates. Very sad. Okay, let's go to cars. We got some cars to go through. You're a car guy. What do you drive?
I drive.
Please don't say Tesla.
No,
okay,
that makes me car sick. I drive it.
That makes me car sick.
Mark drives a Tesla ever since he's been here from Colombia. So
yeah, in between Mexico and Colombia, Spain.
He struggles now, but
I drive it M3. I just got it 2026. But that's gonna be my project car. I'm going for the quarter mile. Record.
You like racing cars? Like you like building like racing?
Well, I've always wanted to do something like that. So that's my first time. And then I just have a super fast.
Car and Driver just selected, I think Car and Driver sucks dick.
Wait, what's that?
Car and Driver is a magazine, which no one gives a fuck about anymore. Okay. So I think they're just basically paid by manufacturers. They ranked the F80 Ferrari as the all-time best car of the year. Which is the most hated Ferrari in the world.
Wait, this?
Yeah, which is the hybrid, like 6-cylinder fucking Ferrari that replaced the LaFerrari. Nobody understands why. They gave the Corvette ZR1 and ZR1X the second best exotic. And then the fucked up part is they gave the SP3, one of the nicest Ferraris built on Earth, and one of the best cars that should have been the replacement of LaFerrari, number 9. And gave the
number 9.
Yeah, the Temerari or whatever the fuck that Lamborghini atrocity is called. Somehow that was like number 4 or 5. Like, I'm at this. This is fucking art.
That's beautiful.
Whoever fucking designed this needs a raise, and that needed to be the replacement for the LaFerrari.
That's a gorgeous car.
I tried to buy one of these, and I was told that I was too poor. Now they're at 10 million. Now they're at 10 million. They were at 6 million before. Well, they were at 6 million. I felt too poor. I didn't want to spend 10 million on a car. I could have bought this. I just didn't want to. And I felt that this is probably one of the best looking cars on Earth. Like, it's one of the best designs I think that came out of Ferrari in a very, very, very long time. So, I mean, what do we think about this? Do we agree? The Corvette, the second?
I think the F80 is ugly as fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah. So it shouldn't have even been 1. It should have been like way not.
But I don't understand how you put this as number 9 on the same list and put the other one
in the top 15 though.
Top 15, I could see.
Yeah.
Actually, the other day I got in a ZR1
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you got it? Yeah. And then I immediately all the carbon trim came off into my hand as I got in my car.
No way.
And I remembered how nice it is to be in an American car. And the guy was telling me how much value it was and how nice the interior felt. And as soon as I touched the button, the whole fucking thing fell off. And I was like, the scent of the glue coming off on a Corvette. That's
ridiculous.
That's the best. ZR1s, people think I hate Corvettes. I really don't hate Corvettes.
I know where you're going with this, and
I hate Corvette people. I don't hate
agree.
Corvettes. Like
I hate
I hate the Corvette people who want to race.
I hate Mustang people.
Yeah, like if you own a Mustang or a Corvette, it's a great stepping stone to a nicer car. But
Correct.
But it should not be a competing edge. Every time I get on I post a car on social media, I get a guy that's like, a Corvette would walk around that.
Yeah, I don't get why people spend money on that.
Yeah, and it's like your poverty wouldn't, but the Corvette would. What difference does it make?
No, seriously though.
It's the same argument as a Civic goes faster than a Corvette, or Corvette goes faster than a Ferrari or Bugatti, whatever it is. The guy with the bug can buy 15 Corvettes, 20 Civics, burn them to the ground, and move on. Maybe if you're TGR or Alex G, but other people can. But then comes the argument that the guy with the Corvette cannot. Yes, this is me in this fucking shit box. It was terrible. I just took a ride in it. I never did it again.
You loved it.
No, it was totally gay.
You loved every. He told me he loved it.
Totally gay.
Side note, told me he loved it.
Not happening. American cars are shit. I recently got an Escalade V.
That's a cool car.
Nah, it's not cool
I like
either.
all of these are
good. Like I bought it as a beater, so it can take all the fucking kids and family and shit and family in law.
And you can say that.
It's good because it's a 7-seater, and it's convenient because it's huge.
It's fast as fuck.
But dude, it's got so many fucking screens and buttons. No, it's not that fast.
It's
so heavy.
For a truck that size,
big,
yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a 11-second truck, which is crazy.
11-second what? 0 to 60?
No, quarter mile.
It's not,
crazy.
dude. It's just large. It's fast for what it is.
For the size, yeah.
But because like the truck is so large, you can never really go that fast because you'd fucking eat a wall when you're trying to brake.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not agile like a fucking Urus or something. It's just a very large truck like. So, but why does it have 15 fucking screens? It took me literally an hour and a half to set up my fucking phone going through the screens. But I figured out how to play YouTube on the actual front computer before I figured out how to put my fucking thing on. I couldn't figure out how to open the doors. The glove compartment is a digital thing. You have to press it on the digital thing. There's no actual override button.
I haven't looked inside.
So, but they have a fucking button for air on off, separate from an entire screen for air on off, and a separate button next to it. But they don't have a button for a plastic glove compartment on the side, except on the screen, which takes 3 buttons to get to the button. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who comes up with this shit? They have to have an engineer somewhere that actually comes up with this stuff.
Not a good one.
But what nationality do you think the person is that comes up with this shit?
Indian.
Oh, you think?
Wow. He's one of us. He's one of us.
There was zero hesitation.
Because that shit doesn't make any sense.
He's one of us.
That was terrible. Yeah, that was terrible.
And you bought on top of the fact that you bought an Escalade, you bought something else that was actually really cool.
I bought a Courier GT and I'm petrified.
And you bought this thing.
I see. Now we're sold.
I bought a gated one thanks to my friend Perrin at Chicago Motor Cars who convinced me to buy this car. So 03 with the challenge wheels and the gated manual.
Yeah.
I bought this just to put it away because I had all the other fucking gated cars leased.
This is yours too?
All the cars here are mine. Yeah. Unlike TJR, I actually own all my shit. You know?
Show me the title.
Yep, all of them downstairs. I'll actually, you know what? We'll show them to North. So you can actually say like he literally came here and like, saw it live.
One of my friends recommended you, and that's when I looked into it, and he verified everything.
Yeah, so this is like a purple Courier GT. So
how much was this?
$2 and a quarter.
$2 and a quarter.
Yeah, $2 and a quarter. Really good car, but I almost killed myself with this car, and it's funny because this is the car that Paul Walker died in. This is the car Jay Leno went off road with, Michael Hammond, the guys from Top Gear.
Well, you had that experience?
Yeah, you know what? And I know why. Because someone called me. The guy that sold it to me, a really nice guy, called me and explained to me how to drive it, which changed my whole dynamic on driving. There's a clutch, but the clutch is basically the accelerator automatically realizes when the clutch comes up that it needs to go. So it gives like 10% of power. So you have to stop overcompensating by giving it power like a normal car, because then you're giving it 50% power and you just jump. So I can see how this becomes a very dangerous play when you're on the highway in third gear and it's got a lot of power. So it's like no traction control, a lot of power, and the clutch is doing its own thing when it releases all of a sudden if you drive it like a normal car. So you always feel like you're going sideways. Really pleasant, but I had to do that gay shit you do when you're learning to drive stick, when you're sitting in the garage going forward slowly, backwards slowly, just to get comfortable with it. Because I was like, I got to understand the clutch engagement before I even go on the road. Because the first time I went on the road, I stalled 3 times. I couldn't fucking I was like, what the fuck? Like, I know how to drive stick. I have a ton of stick cars. So I was like, I don't understand why this is difficult. And then I started realizing, like, I got to take it. You got to relearn how you drive stick.
Do you rotate your cars or not at all?
So I have 10 cars at the house and I drive. You'll go to my garage after this, but you'll see all the cars on the bottom floor, which are the hypers, get driven. All the cars on top that are older, analog, like more like collectible cars.
And you plan on keeping those?
Yeah, so like I rotate every year or two once the values hit a certain number where it no longer makes sense to keep it. So like I recently had a LP640 I bought with 300 miles. So it has 300 original miles.
LP640 is the Lotus, right?
No,
it's a
bro, I'm not
Mercy.
gay. I don't drive Lotus.
Which one is that?
It's a Murcielago.
Murcielago, the Lamborghini, the old Aventador. So that car basically had 300 original miles. I just sold it with my GTR R34 Midnight Purple. So I had both these cars very low miles. Because they have such low miles, they can't be driven. You know, it's not like they're mainly for collectability. So I bought it. I just made 100% of my money in less than 12 months.
In less than 12
months, yeah. So that's what I do. I predict car markets. And then the way you play stocks, I play cars. So now, but the benefit is I love driving cars. So I drive all my shit, right? Like there's some of them where I'm like, this isn't worth driving. The mileage is too low. It's too risky to put on a street. But like my Bug, I put 4,000 miles in 4 years on it. My Senna, this is my Ford Senna. I put like 1,000 miles a year on them. So
I think I've seen your Senna.
Yeah, so it's always crazy shit. It actually came from Cario. Like it was the only one in the world. So I had no choice to go buy it there. But the Carios are really actually. I don't know if you ever met Jacob. I know you wanted to go see some cars there. I heard, right? But Jacob's a really nice guy, like super nice guy. Yeah, super nice dude.
And I think no matter what anybody says about Cario, they're still becoming one of the biggest because of the talk.
Listen, this is the argument. He's in business to sell cars
and to make money,
and I can respect that, right?
Yes.
Like he's not responsible for moral aptitude of what someone does with a car.
It's not his job.
It's just not his job. Doesn't give a shit. We argue and fight that these monkeys are doing this shit to, fuck up people, whatever it is, fuck up their lives. But at the end of the day, it's like saying the guy that sold the gun isn't responsible for the guy that shot the gun, right? Like, you bought a gun, you wanted a gun, someone chose. If someone didn't sell you a gun legally, someone else would, right? The larger argument here is that there is a real problem with how people perceive this, and then they constantly see the same dealership because it attracts the same monkeys who go there for the same reasons. So they get a bad rep for that. But I can tell you that teaching people how to buy cars, if you do your inspections, pay attention, and know what to pay for a car, doesn't matter where it comes from, because you're always going to protect yourself by doing your own inspections. So you're not buying a piece of shit, and you're going to know what to pay, so you're not going upside down, and you're going to not buy stuff you can't afford to buy.
Correct.
Therefore, you'll always have a nice car. You'll have something nice, and you don't have to worry about it. And there's a cost to not having credit. There's a cost to not being smart. And those costs are what we're dealing with every day with these social media idiots that are buying shit they can't afford, But it is what it is. But I think we're hitting right about the hour.
Well, hold on. We got logos.
Oh, we got logos?
We got logos.
Okay.
We got some good logos this week.
So usually we have these terrible logos that we have. So usually people submit. Yeah, this one's not bad. La Pilota's in the back. But I was going to say her nipples are getting hard, so it must be that time of the year.
So basically,
we have say that time of the day where it's time to go. No, not today.
So basically, we have a logo challenge going on right now. People are going to submit their logos, and we're going to put them against each other. And then at the end of the challenge, that logo is going to be our logo, and they're going to get a nice little prize.
At the end of the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to run it. So these are the
Now, just know that these challenges could go on indefinitely.
Yes.
A lot of people are sending us Fiverr logos. Oh, these are pretty good.
See, I told you.
That's actually not bad.
I mean, that makes sense. Cars watch.
So on the left, we have Dean LaVecchia. And on the right, we have Jeffrey Ramirez.
So I'm going to tell you, fuck that guy. Because he used the Lotus and a fucking, I don't know, a Tissot or whatever the fuck.
Is that a Lotus or a GR86?
What the fuck it looks like but whatever it is poverty.
That looks like a Genesis.
Yeah.
Genesis.
So,
and a Tissot.
We're a money podcast. We don't talk about poverty. So that can't
I think this is more aggressive.
Yeah, this is much pretty.
So your choice is
100%.
Jeffrey Ramirez? Nor your choice is Jeffrey Ramirez?
I agree with this one as well.
I'm going to go with Jeffrey Ramirez as well.
Yeah, so the Indian guy can go.
Yo.
So this week, Jeffrey Ramirez, you are the winner of this week's Battle of the Bracket Challenge. You will move on. Dean De La Vecchia, I'm sorry, you shouldn't have put a GR86.
Oh, so it was the guy who's Dean. So he's probably young.
Yeah.
Well, so
But,
credit for everybody trying, you know.
For everybody else, link is in the description. Click, submit. We'll get you on here next week.
If we even survive next week, it might be canceled by next
Yo.
week.
Yeah, the way this podcast went.
Poor New Yorkers, they don't know how we do shit in South Florida.
He's gonna go back home and gonna go, they were fucking crazy.
Anyways, it's been a pleasure, guys. We'll catch you next week if we're still here. Otherwise,
Nor, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Thanks for coming.
Thank you guys.
The man, dog.
Wait, what are you guys streaming on? Where?
That's the end. Perfect.